B-boy. From the old to the new, still a B-boy. Too bold for the school, still a B-boy. East coast to the west, B-boys worldwide. We supposed to be blessed, still a B-boy. From the old to the new.
This week, we're showing love to the DJs. And it's not just the fellas who can get down on the ones and twos. My next guest operates the wheels of steel like a surgeon with a knife. Straight from Texas. Give it up for DJ Baby Blue Diamond. What's going on?
Hello.
So I start every interview the same, so you're going to get stuck with this question as well. Do you remember the first time you heard hip hop?
Yes, I do remember Tupac. Grew up listening to Tupac.
Mm-hmm.
Who it was.
So along with Tupac, who were some of your first favorite artists?
Besides Tupac, it was also are you talking about just hip hop in general or music in general?
It can be music in general, yeah.
But along with Tupac, it was also Donnell Jones, John B. It was a lot of 90s R&B mixed in with hip hop. A little bit of early 2000s Nelly, if you want to per se that. I didn't get into Biggie until I got a little older. So it was more grew up with Tupac more than Biggie. So that's why I'm a Tupac fan more than Biggie. Not that Biggie doesn't make good music. He does. But I didn't really grow up listening. And of course the classic Snoop Dogg, Ice Cubes.
So what was it about the DJ that really caught your eye? Was that at a young age where you kind of gravitated towards that, or did it just kind of fall into your lap?
It happened when I was a little older. I'd say when I graduated high school. I grew up listening to chopped and screw music, which is big in Texas, Everything got to be slowed down. So I grew up listening to that and I fell in love with that music. And there's this one DJ I used to love. He's not as big as as Screw and Michael Watts, but he's kind of known. I grew up listening to his mixes and I made a comment on his YouTube page to Chop and Screw the song and he made a rude comment about it. So I was just like, you know what? I'll teach myself. So that's how I fell in love with it. I taught myself about it in the West is history.
So I'm glad you brought that up because I was going to bring up the whole screwed thing and how popular it is in the South. And I think a lot of people in other regions, now I'm from the Midwest, but I think especially East West Coast, they don't always necessarily get it. I know,
no, they don't.
So I know part of it was, at least how it started was kind of the syrup drug culture, but it's evolved from that. So what is it about it that it's so popular in the South, but it doesn't necessarily resonate with people outside of the South?
Well, I feel like more so outside of the South, most people like their music fast, especially New York area, Jersey area. You hear the Jersey mixes, it's very fast paced. Cali is more laid back, it's not as fast paced, but they love their music fast where they can juke and just dance, while Texas is more laid back writing music, I feel like. So I think that's more so why we gravitated towards that slow music.
Because I'll even admit, when I was first hearing Screw stuff, I didn't necessarily get it. I've been a hardcore hip hop head since, 85, Run DMC era.
Yeah.
And I was even not getting it at first. And I've come to, appreciate it a little bit more. But it's amazing how something so local can become so big, but still not really be understood on other coasts and didn't really spread like other coast music did. So I find the whole screwed thing interesting. So how did you come up with the stage name DJ Baby Blue Diamond?
That's kind of funny. So my favorite color is baby blue. If you don't know that by now, you know. And one of the kids in the summer program had made me a picture with the word diamond in it. I don't know why. I had it on my wall and I needed a YouTube name at the time and baby girl was taken. That's common.
Sure.
Even when you spell it with all the I's, all the U's, all the L's, it was taken. I was like, I need a YouTube name. So I wasn't going to sign up for YouTube, but eventually, you end up signing up for YouTube. So I needed a name and I was just like, okay, Diamond. Diamond was taken, of course. I was like, oh, of course, it's taken. So I just added Baby Blue in front of it and it was available. So I was like, cool, I have a YouTube name. I was just using it as my YouTube name. But then when I became a DJ, I was like, I need a DJ name. I was like, oh, my YouTube name. Nothing really fancy.
So do you think once you started getting into DJing and really, being involved with it, Did you feel it was harder to be accepted as a woman DJ? Or do you think we're at the point now where it really isn't much difference as far as people, how they perceive you?
I feel like, well, with the chapter school world, I feel like it was kind of easy to be accepted because they love female DJs because there's not too many of us. So they get excited and they just like welcome us in. But as far as the club scene, I feel like it is a little hard because sometimes people just look at you and just say, oh, yeah, she's not really a DJ. But then when they see your skills, they're like, oh, wait a minute, she can actually do this. But that was a big transition, too, because it's different from chapter school music and club music. It's very different. So,
yeah, really different. So talk about the Dojo DJs that you're involved with, how that all came together, how you got involved with them, what it's all about.
So Dojo DJs is a DJ group. I am the only female out of 5 men. Crazy, right? Yeah. So I try to keep them tame a little bit. No, but it's a DJ group here based out of San Antonio, Texas. It started by Hypnotic the DJ and Dojo Dev. And I guess they saw my work. They saw me doing my chapter school mixes. Like I said, that's where I started. I didn't get into the club scene till like recently. So they saw me doing my DJ work. They also saw that I had an online station for underground artists and they liked my work ethic. So they hit me up and they're like, hey, we have a DJ group where we help each other, become better as DJs. We promote each other, teach each other skills. And like, we would like for you to join our group. So that's how I joined, and we very business minded. We help each other with our businesses. Like I said, they help each other. We help each other better our skills, promote each other. So it's not like your typical DJ group who just get together once in a while, do mixes, and that's it. We like to help each other.
So do you prefer doing, whether you're at the club or a live show, or do you prefer more like radio, mixtape, where you're kind of in your own little world creating?
Of course, radio mixtape, because like I said, for the longest, when I was doing radio before I did the club scene, people can't see your face when you're doing radio. It's online, you're behind scenes. So if you mess up, they don't know who to point to. But when you do a live mix in front of people and you mess up, they can see your face. They know you're the one messing up. So I prefer behind scenes. But I'm slowly getting comfortable getting in front of the scenes. But yeah, behind scenes is way better. And then sometimes you can pre-record mixes and you can perfect it over time. So
right. So you also part of the Well You Ask podcast. You want to talk about that, promote that?
Yes. So Well You Ask podcast is a podcast I started about a year and a half ago. Then I had stopped. It's me and the artist, we started it, but then we stopped it because the artist didn't realize how much work a podcast is. A lot of people don't realize how much work a podcast is. Yeah. So I had stopped it for a year. I gave it up. And then I started back with 2 new co-hosts. I was looking for some co-hosts to bring it back. And I met D and T1, brought it back. Instantly, they connected with each other. So I knew this was going to be the perfect fit for the team. We're on our 3rd season right now already. Season 3 is ending. We're having a live podcast event March 6th here in San Antonio, Texas. So if you're in the San Antonio, Texas area, you want to come out and network with other podcasters. We do different topics. We have food, we have drinks, we have performances. It's going to be a dope event. We live every Wednesday on Facebook and YouTube.
And there's other radio shows that you've hosted or are currently, correct?
Yes. So I'm the owner of U3 Radio. That's where I do the underground music online. And then also I am like the background. I help out with the sex podcast called FOH After Dark. So on Fridays, if you want to get into some adult conversations, you tune in to us Fridays on Facebook and YouTube Live.
And I also saw that you were nominated for, is it C Award or SEA Award?
Yes,
Female
SEA
DJ
Awards.
of the Year, SEA Award.
Yes.
Talk about that, what that meant to you.
This is my 2nd year being nominated, so I'm always gracious when I'm nominated, whether I win or not, because that's just to know that people are watching you, because you never know who watches you. So that is it's just an honor to be nominated, and I'm proud. And it's crazy because I found out this year I was nominated when I went to go vote for somebody else. And then I saw my name. I was like, oh, look, I'm nominated. It's crazy.
So did you change your vote? Did you vote for yourself?
No, I went to go vote for an artist. I went to go vote for an artist in his category. And I was like, let me go look at the other categories just to see who's nominated. And I was like, oh, that's my name. It was crazy.
That's a happy surprise, right?
It is. It's very.
So now I'm going to get into what my podcast is known as, the hip hop shop questions. But I know you deal in more than just hip hop, so we can expand it to mean all music. So if you could only listen to one artist the rest of your life, just their catalog, who would that be?
Donnell Jones, easy.
So you get stuck on an island and you can only bring 5 albums to spin. What are those 5 albums that are going to rock the party?
Rock the party. Let's see, 5 albums. Of course, Where I Want to Be by Donnell Jones. Sammy's first album, From the Bottom to the Top. It would have to be, man, that's a hard question. There's a lot of dope music. But of course, I would have to say, in my hip hop catalog, because you got to have a little hip hop in there, it's between Snoop Dogg and Tupac, because of course they make dope music. But I would probably have to do, if I could do a Dr. Dre's Greatest Hits compilation album, I'll pick that. I know it's probably not one out there, but I'll make my own.
You make your own, right?
Make my own and bring it. That definitely would have to be in there. Definitely some Selena Quintanilla. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. I can pronounce it right. But the original Selena, not Selena Gomez.
Right.
Of course, some Selena in there. She's a classic. And then maybe some country, because people be surprised because I mostly play hip hop and R&B, but I actually listen to all types of music. So I'm not just particular to just hip hop and R&B. I listen to pop, I listen to rock. So I listen to it all. You're
making a mixtape. Money's not an object, and you can have 5 features from any artist, exclusive features on your mixtape. Who are those 5 dream artists?
My 5 dream artists would have to be, Andre 3000 is number 1 on my list. He's dope with the lyrics. I love Andre 3000. Chris Brown, he's hot right now. I know he would guarantee make a hit. If I could, I would bring back Tupac and have him make a hit. But since I can't really, unless we want to use some of his old vocals, you know, people use old vocals and make a verse, we could do that. Definitely 50 Cent. 50 Cent is very hot and will make a dope hit. You said 5, right?
I said 5, yeah.
Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne is the mixtape goat. And then my last one will probably be another R&B singer. And I would probably have to go with a female artist, Summer Walker. She's dope right now. So add a little female into the mix, you know, maybe all men.
You're making a Screwed mixtape, and you get to pick one person from the East, one person from the West, and one artist from the Midwest who's never had any of their music, at least on a major, stage, screwed or chopped before. Whose music from those coasts would you like to take a shot at?
Man, from the West Coast would probably have to be Sir. He's new. He's a new artist coming out West Coast. Him and his brother are dope. I would probably have to pick him. Midwest, let's see. St. Louis area, let's see who. Maybe someone from the St. Lunatics that's not as big as Nelly. Because there was some other artists like Murphy Lee and them.
Ali, I think, was another one.
Ali, yeah. Kiwan. So maybe somewhere from them, because I like the St. Lunatics. I wish they were a little bit bigger than what they were.
So I have a question that just jumped in my head as far as the Screwed. Does other music besides hip hop, is there Screwed a fan base screwing like rock music?
Oh, yes.
For real?
There's some doing gospel. There's some that do rock music, especially now since like artists like Willow Smith who are merging the two genres together. So yes, some do pop. I've seen Selena Gomez chop the Screwed, Taylor Swift chop the Screwed. Of course the R&B. I've seen Spanish music. So I actually had a station for a while back, online station called Purple World Radio for chop the Screwed music. And each Sunday I went live, we had different themes. So one day we had an East versus West with Tupac and Biggie. One time we had a Spanish episode, so people would chop and screw in Selena and all the Tejano music and the reggaeton music. Then I had a pop mix. So it has expanded from when it first started.
That's interesting. Yeah.
It is. It
I I can't even really picture it. I gotta go hunt.
You'd be
some
surprised because like I like to randomly type in like songs and Chop the Scoop behind it on YouTube, and I found Tennessee Whiskey Chop the Scoop. It was so weird, but it was nice. I was like, what? I was surprised.
That's funny.
It is.
So now I'm gonna do a this or that. I'm gonna give you two options, and you gotta pick the better option in your view.
Okay.
Choice is yours. You can get with this or you can get with that. You can get with this or you can get with that. You can get...
Good old turntables and vinyl, or the digital turntables that everyone's using now?
Ooh, vinyl.
That's the right answer.
Even though they're harder to take care of and maintain compared to the digital, but vinyl.
Yeah, digital is easier, but there's just something about having an actual record. Classic 90s East Coast producers, DJ Premier or Pete Rock?
Premier. I always loved Premier growing up.
Oh, the next one, I know the answer. It was Tupac or Biggie?
Yeah. Only because I grew up listening to Tupac. I felt like if I would have grew up listening to both, then I can have like a better, like, okay.
How about Jay-Z or Nas?
Jay-Z. I didn't really grow up listening to Nas as much, even though Nas does make good music, but Jay-Z.
How about the recent verses, Bone Thugs and Harmony or 3-6 Mafia?
Bone Thugs all the way. They killed it.
They did.
3-6 have more club hits, but Bone Thugs have hits that's more like people can, I guess, more people can relate to.
Right. Yeah. And bigger hits. I mean,
bigger
no
hits.
doubt.
Too.
Bone had bigger hits.
Yeah.
East Coast hip hop, West Coast hip hop.
West Coast.
80s hip hop or 90s hip hop?
Ooh, 90s hip hop, because they made more like house party music. They get you dancing.
All right, we're doing classic hood movies, West Coast version, Boys in the Hood or Menace to Society?
Menace to Society. I was a big fan of Kane.
And then the East Coast version would be Juice or New Jack City?
Ooh. Man, those are classic. I would have to say New Jack City. I like that one a little bit more, even though Juice was a classic, and I heard they're trying to remake it, which I hope they don't. Classics you don't touch, but they're trying to. I hope they don't touch that. We don't need another House Party 6 or 7. Don't touch that either. But they're trying to.
There are a lot of house parties. I stopped watching after 2 or 3.
Yes, and they're trying to make another one. I'm like, please don't.
Damn, they're beating that. Have you talk about remakes? I know they just remade Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, but it's like a serious version. I don't know if you've seen it. I haven't.
I've seen the trailer and I'm a little skeptical.
I'm scared to watch it.
Since Uncle Phil passed, and it's just not the same. And I feel like it wasn't like the original wasn't a series. It was just episodes that made you laugh and feel good. Mm-hmm. Now that it's a series, it's just weird. I don't know. But someone said it's good so far. I might give it a try and watch one episode. I don't know yet.
Like you said, I hate it when they remake things that usually doesn't turn out well, but you never know.
No, especially if the original people doesn't have a part of it. I don't know if Will Smith had a part of it. He could have, but I always feel like when they do biopics or they do remakes and some of the original people don't have to say so, it never turns out right.
Right. So now I'm going to do the round where I'm going to give you an artist name. You got to tell me what you think of. The first thing you think of that comes in your head, not necessarily a word, just what do you think of when you hear this name? DJ Screw.
Oh, of course, the Purple Joint, even though I don't promote it. That's bad, but Purple Joint, which is hopefully they stop promoting it soon. I hope so. It's slowly dying down. Not as many people, not as many like the OGs that's been in the game for a minute. They stopped really promoting it. It's mostly the younger artists.
And I never had, I mean, it's cough medicine with codeine mixed with just different liquor, right?
Yes.
That's what
it's right. That's all it is. It's crazy. I never had it, but it's craziness.
No, it was never real big up where I'm from Milwaukee area, so there wasn't a lot of sipping on scissor in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
My all-time favorite Texas hip-hop group, the Ghetto Boys.
Oh, yes, Mind Playing Tricks on Me. Dun, 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 dun. That's the song. That's my jam. I love it. And I also love the wordplay too, because a lot of people, when they just first hear it, they just like, okay, it's dope. But if you listen to the music video and listen to the words, you actually see that I think he was like on drugs and he was really having like a mental breakdown because his mind was playing tricks on him. But most people don't get it if you don't sit and study it. You just hear the jam and dance to it.
Classic song.
Classic.
What about Missy Elliott?
Innovator, man. She changed the game from the super duper fly with the big puffy suit. And I like how she told the story of how they had to go to a gas station to inflate it and she had to walk to the set. By the time she got to the set, it had deflated. She had to come back.
That's crazy.
But I love her music. And I love the fact that she started a singing group, which a lot of people did not know that. With Sister. And they had one of the best songs on that on one of the favorite movies I like. It's called I can't think of the name of the movie, but there's a movie with the song is on it with Sister in it, and it's very dope. And it also had Coolio, Gangsta Paradise on that soundtrack too. My mind went blank, but it was a dope movie.
Dangerous Minds?
Dangerous Minds. There you go. See, you know it. That's one of my favorite movies, but yes.
How about Paul Wall?
Paul Wall, man. Oh, you call him the black white boy, even though he's not black, but yes, but the grills too. He's known for the grills. I wish he should have been a little bit bigger than what he was in Texas. Like people know him, but not as big as the other Texas artists.
How about Ludacris?
Man, oh, the Afro. Really, that's what I think about when he had the Afro back in the day. But no, I love Ludacris and his music. I love him. I love the whole Disturbing the Peace. I believe some of the artists in his Disturbing the Peace could have been a little bit bigger. I wish they were. Like I-20, Shauna, the female artist he had. It could have been bigger, but oh man, Ludacris makes dope music. And he's still making dope music to this day.
No doubt. How about Funk Master Flex?
Funk Master Flex, man. The OG of hip hop. That's all I can think of. OG. He's not one of the people that started it all, but he's one of the people that, helped start it all.
How about Big Mo?
Man, Bar Baby. The first time I heard that song, my brother used to play that song for me all the time. And I did not know it was about drugs. I assumed it was about him going to bars. I didn't know it was about drugs. So he had and the hook was kids singing the song. So I assumed it was a kid-friendly song. And my brother used to have us singing it. Then when I got older, I found out what it was about. And I was like, oh, kind of changed my life. I was like, I should not have been singing this when I was a kid. You shouldn't.
How about Lil Flip?
Lil Flip. Oh man, the freestyle king. I actually got to interview him on my station, which was very great. I was nervous, I can tell, that interview, but it was very dope to interview him. And he is a freestyle king. And I like the fact that he really showed how freestyle is not the same anymore. Especially when you see these interviews and the radio stations say, I'm gonna play you a beat and you freestyle. It's not really a freestyle anymore. They're not coming off the dome. It's pre-written. They already know what beat they're gonna play, what beat's gonna come on. So he really talked about how he's the freestyle, how freestyle needs to go back to where it was, off the dome, not pre-written, not something that you can go to. And I've seen a lot, even with the underground artists. I go to these hip-hop shows and some of these artists like, I'm gonna kick a freestyle for you before I perform, but it's the same freestyle I didn't hear at every show that I even know the words to it. So it's not a freestyle anymore if I know the words. So
how about Dr. Dre?
Oh man, one of the GOAT beat makers besides Manny Fresh and Timbaland. He's up there. Him and Scott Storch. Man, them two together. Whew, and that halftime show.
I was just going to ask you about that. What do you think of the halftime show?
Man, I loved it. I love that they killed it. I also love that I love that they got to represent, the hip hop culture that a lot of people assume is negative all the time, especially that side of hip hop. Because we always get the hip hop artists they do tend to be like popish hip hop or more mainstream hip hop, but not like the hood hip hop. And he gets to show you in a different light that we're not just about the drugs, the killing, we do make dope music. And then a lot of people also forget that Dr. Dre was behind Eminem in some of his music too. Even when Eminem came out with the Marshall Mathers acting crazy, Dr. Dre was behind that. Yeah,
no doubt. Yeah, I wanted it to keep going. It ended too soon for me.
I know. Just like forget the football game, man. Let's just do this time show one more time.
How about one of the newer female MCs, Megan Thee Stallion?
Man, I like her. I like her music. I love that she makes that crunk Texas music, because you don't really see that a lot. Like I said, Texas music is more laid back, a little slowed down, and you don't see too much hype Texas music. And she brought that energy, and she's a female artist on top of that too, killing it.
We talked about Paul Wall, so I got to do his old partner, Chameleonaire.
Man, he does not get enough respect. I feel like it, because not only with the lyrics and the music, outside of that, he is a businessman. I love the fact that he told his story of how some Hispanic artists helped him when he first was selling his first album on mixtape. And that I get that a lot, especially down here in San Antonio. A lot of San Antonio is majority Hispanics. That's what it is. It's San Antonio. So it's not too many other cultures down here. And a lot of artists are scared to branch out to other cultures, to other ethnicities. And I'm like, that's what you have to do. 90% is San Antonio. You have to reach out to them so they can listen to your music. You can listen to theirs. But some are scared. It's like, you can't be scared. They're going to embrace your music. You're going to embrace theirs. Go ahead. Market to what's out here. You know, if it's only 10% of us, 10% is not a lot.
Right.
You just got to. That's like going to Japan and say, I'm just going to market to the Hispanics or to the Blacks. Like, you can't. It's Japan. Market to what's majority in your city, your state, your country. But yeah, I like the fact that he's not afraid to work with a lot of people, networking. And then I like and he branched outside of music. So he doesn't just have music to fall back on. He's a businessman. I think he owns part of Twitter or Facebook or something like that.
Oh, really?
Some kind of, he owns part of one of these social media things. He owns part of, him and MC Hammer. A lot of people don't know that.
Chameleonaire is so underrated. I mean, he's lyrical.
Him and Andre 3000, people don't give him enough credit. That's just
Staying in the South, Slim Thug.
Slim Thug. Whew. I feel like he's a quiet giant. That's what I call him. He's tall. Right. But he's like the laid back of the latest back of all the Texas artists. I feel like his music is very dope. I didn't really listen to Slim Thug as much as the Mike Jones and the Paul Walls and the Little Flips, but he's good.
Another one from yesterday, Kendrick Lamar.
Oh man, I love him. When he came out, him, the Sirs, and all these newer West Coast artists that are coming out around his time, they are killing it. I feel like the OGs, Ice Cube, Snoop Dogg, Dr. Dre, are very proud. They are killing it right now. And they're keeping true to the West Coast sound, because especially East Coast music has changed a lot. A lot of artists coming from East Coast, you can't tell they're from the East Coast. It's like, you from the East Coast? Like, because East Coast is not known for the dancing music, just like West Coast is not known for that. Dancing is more like the South type thing. So when you see these new artists from East Coast, you can't tell. But when the West Coast artists come out, you can tell they're from the West.
Right.
They're staying true.
We saw him yesterday. This person also hanging upside down. 50 Cent.
50 Cent, man. He's another businessman too that don't really get enough credit. Starting with the vitamin water and how he sold that deal up to the series he's doing. I watch all his series. They are very dope. He is a businessman. He knows how to venture into all types of avenues besides music, because it's like, hey, I can't do music forever, which you can. Snoop Dogg still does music at his age. You know, you can still do music forever, but Snoop Dogg has other ventures as well. So if he doesn't want to do music, you have a fallback plan. And man, 50 Cent got a couple fallback plans.
Yeah, he's definitely a businessman. Man.
Yes.
What about Nicki Minaj?
I like her music, but I feel like when Nicki is more so, I don't like the female artist who's really in, like, I'm trying to see how I can avoid this, more into like the cattiness of the part. Like Meg Thee Stallion came out, she did a thing, she knows there's going to be competition, but she's not like really looking out for the competition. But like when Nicki came out and then Carly came out, people started pinning themselves against each other, and they fed into that energy instead of just saying, hey, let's just work together and figure it out.
West Coast legend, you were talking about West Coast legends. Ice-T.
Man, Ice-T, man. I don't know, when I hear Ice-T, I just think of the NWA area, of course. You know, of course, I still think of the Ice Cubes. And I love him on Law and Order. It's so weird when I see him on Law and Order. I'm like, man, this is the OG rapper solving crime. He's a police officer now. But no, I like Ice-T. He keeps it real. I like it. I didn't really grow up listening to Ice-T as much, but I like his music.
Talked about the Ghetto Boys being my favorite Southern group. This is probably my second favorite, UGK.
Oh man, rest in peace, Bun B. I mean Pimp C. Rest in peace, Pimp C. Man, UGK was. I feel like UGK was one of the Houston artists that became semi as big as Chameleon. Like most people don't really know Chameleon outside of Texas as much as they know UGK, but only because of that Big Pimpin' record, which is weird because Pimp C didn't even want to do the Big Pimpin' record. Pimp C was like, no, that's not us. But they did it. And hopefully Pimp C's death will bring a lot of awareness to that subculture, because most people try to hide it underneath the rug, but we all know that's how he passed away from that. And then Lil Wayne does it. Bow Wow even spoke how he had to stop doing it because he was getting withdrawals and chills and bad from him, so he had to stop doing it. So, but they are one of the Houston legends. And the fact that Meg Thee Stallion is gonna get a Pimp C verse, that's gonna be dope whenever that song comes out. I can't wait.
So being in San Antonio, is the vibe similar to a Houston, or does it have its own vibe musically?
We are the slowest city in all the cities. I'm letting you know now. We get unless you're one of those DJs that like really, really out there in the club scene and get music like before everyone. Because we're very slow. We get a lot of music late. So a lot of music we hear on the radio, it's been out months, and we just like, oh, we're just not hearing it unless you up to that current stuff. But besides that, we do have our own style. San Antonio is very military oriented, so we do get a lot of cultures here. A lot of people retire here from the military, so we do get a lot of that melting pot of cultures. And a lot of our Hispanic artists are really into the hip hop, so we get a lot of that reggaeton, a lot of that trap music, trap Spanish music here. I love it.
I got a couple more names. Tribe Called Quest.
Man, Tribe Called Quest, legends. Another legend rap group. They had that Bonita Applebum, Turn Me On. Man. That's what I think about. That and Q-Tip, man. Oh, he's another one that don't get a lot of credit. I love his music. His music was laid back, but yet it made you dance. Him and Busta Rhymes was in Quest too, right?
No, he was in Leaders of the New School.
Leaders of the Nation. Yeah. Okay, yeah. But Q-Tip, man. Whew.
And rest in peace to Phife Dawg. He died a few years ago.
Yes. Him and the guy from Ghetto Boys that died too recently. Rest in peace to him.
Bushwick Bill, yeah.
Bushwick Bill, yes.
Another person from yesterday. I didn't plan it this way, but Eminem.
Man, I guess you could say one of my favorite white rappers. I don't have too many. Him and Paul Wall, and that's about it. But man, besides when he first started with him being a quirky Marshall Mathers, which I love that side of him too. I love his serious side too. I love the fact that he's not afraid to challenge artists. He's like, I don't care if I'm white, I don't care if I'm black, blue, green. I'm gonna challenge any artist that's out there, new and old. He's not afraid to call people out without calling people out. Like, he don't have to say your name, I'm gonna call you out. He's just gonna lyrically drop a song and make you want to do better. Especially with the Godzilla challenge that he dropped, and everyone's trying to do better than that. Man, him and the what was that cipher they did on the Hip Hop Awards? It was him, Joe Budden.
Yeah, I was Royce 5'9" on that, maybe.
Royce 5, yeah, they all killed it. Yes, that was it.
When Eminem's on point, I mean, he's one of the illest lyricists ever.
And I also feel like even when he was doing his funny stuff, he was still on point, because the way he used to say stuff, it made you think about it. Because if you didn't catch it, even though it was funny, you just laugh at it. But then when you go back and say, oh, okay, this is what he really meant, like you knew how to flip words and make sense of stuff, and even though it was in a funny way.
Too Short.
Oh man, what's my favorite word? But him, man, he's the club man. All the club hits he had back in the day that made you dance, even though he was one of the first people that would talk negative about a girl and females would love it. I feel like he started it. Like back in the day, in the 80s, they had people who used to do it, but then they didn't do it in a way that made you feel like, I don't know, they didn't do it as slick as him. He did it in a way that's like, I don't care if he's calling me bees, I'm gonna shake my like nowadays it's just like he paid the way for artists to continue to do that. It's like he was one of the first people to be all loud with it, like
right.
He's another West Coast legend too. I feel like he needs more shine too. Him and E40 don't get as much.
Yeah. I mean, E40, talk about business, man. I mean,
oh yeah. Man, if E40 needs to come out with a dictionary of his language.
Yeah, he's got his own language almost. He's got so much.
That's what I'm saying. He needs a dictionary and sell it.
Right.
He needs a dictionary. Or like an online app and sell it so people can learn how to speak or translate.
Like a Rosetta Stone for E40.
Exactly. Rosetta Stone's E40 edition. I agree.
All right. Lastly, Run DMC.
Who's how? I think like I like about Run DMC, they're one of the first, well, not first, but one of the few hip hop artists who wasn't afraid to, like I said, network with other genres of music to pave the way. They're like, you know what, we're not gonna just stick with hip hop. We're gonna go with the pop, we're gonna go with the rock, we're gonna, you know, and then the fact that they also branded with the Adidas on top of that. Not too many artists was doing that back in the day, and now artists nowadays, you see them all the time with the shoe deals and the brand endorsements, but they helped start that. Yeah,
they're the legend of all legends. So.
They are, and then plus their music was kind of clean. You didn't hear too much of that. It wasn't street music that most people, you know, was expecting.
Right.
It was very different.
So do you have any pluggables to plug? Where can people get at you? What you got going on? Hit them with it.
You can get at me. My main Instagram page is DJ_BabyBlueDiamond. And then of course my website, u3radio.com. That's where you can check out all my podcasts, all my mixes, and everything that I do. My graphics, I do graphics on the side too. So if you have any logos, business cards, cartoons, I do that too.
All right, keep doing your thing, keep screwing and chopping, and you know, I'm gonna go peep out some Tennessee whiskey chopped and screwed, because now I gotta hear it. It's
you should go look it up.
That's crazy. All right, take care. Have a good night.
Bye.
Yo, Surreal the MC, rearrange, yo. Still a B-boy like a grade short of an A. Metaphor 3, 2, 1, quarter the day. More to display, keep the hoarders away. Grabbing mics like cranberries with an ocean of spray. Old school like KFC, just get in the van. Streaking Snoop's Ren's hat, don't mention it, man. Head spin, back break, neck speed, pop lock, jaws drop, fresh fest, bomb squad, Hank shot. S you make no sense. What you trying to say? Pay to play, we outside just dying to play. I said play twice, go 3 times with a rhyme. Off topic I get, it's the sign of the times, finally mine.
Surreal?
Me, myself, De La Soul, Bud Ice with snowballs, yo, I'm way too cold. Still a B-boy for life, till death do us part. Come back, spray paint, real fresh from the start. Still a B-boy, from the old to the new. Still a B-boy, too bold for the school. Still a B-boy, East Coast to the West. B-boys worldwide, we supposed to be blessed. Still a B-boy, from the old to the new. Still a B-boy, too bold for the school. Still a B-boy, East Coast to the West. B-boys worldwide, we supposed to be blessed.
Hey yo, AK, kick that old school flow.
Okay man, I'll take it back to 84. Remember when they said hip-hop was a fad that would last just a year or two? Well, 40 years later, we're bigger and greater. I guess that we showed you. Still miss that 80s hip-hop, the music that made me a dreamer. It had real beats, it was from the real streets, and was harder than a femur. It was a new culture for the youth, inventing as we went. We did it for the love, not to buy some bud or pay our mama's rent. Then Run DMC came along, changed the game, a whole new level. no longer underground, now earthbound, stirring things up like a dust devil.
Still a b-boy, from the old to the new, still a b-boy. Too bold for the school, still a b-boy. East Coast to the West, b-boys worldwide, we supposed to be blessed. Still a b-boy, from the old to the new, still a b-boy. Too bold for the school, still a b-boy. East Coast to the West, b-boys worldwide, we supposed to be blessed.
Hey, yo, I got an itchy tongue, call it a trigger finger, cause it spits raps. Instead of peeling caps, I blow your dome back, so throw that whack right my way. Sit down and check this style out. Take notes but don't bite and try to eliminate my clout. I'm out for blood, hunting like a predatorial species. You couldn't beat me if you was up early and had your Wheaties. You can't see me, you blind like Stevie to the fact that I'm still a b-boy spitting sharp over this fire track. These new rappers whack, they need to hang it up, put it away. They freshman style wet, and I'm hanging out to dry so they gets no play. Whether it's for a radio, they need to play it low key, cause MCing for them is not the way to go. It's not what you say, but how you deliver it. So if you poetically inclined but can't articulate, it's useless. See, I do this with ease, it's like a natural born talent for me to speak on beats and get this thing straight crack.
Still a b-boy, from the old to the new, still a b-boy. Too bold for the school, still a b-boy. East Coast to the West, b-boys worldwide, we supposed to be blessed. Still a b-boy, from the old to the new, still a b-boy. Too bold for the school, still a b-boy. East Coast to the West, b-boys worldwide, we supposed to be blessed.